Well, howdy. Bob here at Odin's Lock. That's much of locks I got to rekey. I'm kind of, there's 12 of them total. I'm going to try to find one that uses less of the double numbers. Like, I don't want, to use one that has like 2 5s or 2 6s, whatever. It allows me to kind of go through my pins at a more even rate. Not that it really matters in the overall scheme of things, but it just kind of makes it easier. So here's one that's 254630. I don't know what I'm going to use. That might be closer. It doesn't really matter to me if you know about this bitting, because it's going to go in a place that no one can get to. And so that looks like that probably is going to be the one I'm going to use. Most of these have 2 or 3 of the same digits, like 2 4s, 2 5s. There's so 717. Okay, so I think I'm going to use that one over there. So what I'm going to do is, let me see here. Let me change this over here. I'm going to go ahead and okay, so I'm recording on my other one, just make sure I have it all kind of documented. Let me see what I'm looking at through the camera here, make sure I'm seeing. We'll turn the light on. Everyone has their own way of rekeying stuff. I got 12 of these, and I need to do them pretty quick. And let me see, this is the one I'm going to use as my pattern. And when you do a bunch at once, you got to kind of have like a little assembly line set up for this. So let me see if I can do this. So this would be the one I use. Every digit is a single digit, and there's not a repeat in numbers. So I'm going to use this one, and I will put an extra key ring on this just so as I'm going through them, I know I don't get my other key lost in it as my setup key. So this is the one. I'll check this. Should be, dropping parts. These are the Classroom series. It's a Falcon, the W series actually is a Classroom lock. And this is just for some little business. They got a whole bunch of little offices. They don't really care. There's nothing high security about anything. But they wanted a classroom function, so that's what we got them. And you can put this video in 1.5 speed or 1 1/4 speed, however you want to do it. Yeah, or you can pass and not watch it. It's up to you. I just haven't done any videos in a while. I thought maybe I would trying to figure out how it sits in there. I gotta do this, actually. There we go. Somewhere like that. There we go. Alright. So there's the keys I'm using. Set that right there. Let me make sure I'm recording everything. Okay. So we'll do this. Too worried about anyone seeing the bidding on this. It won't be anywhere but what I'm doing. 254630. Everyone kind of has their own way of doing this. This is the way I'm doing it. And it's a pretty, not a horribly aggressive bidding, but it's not too bad. Let me see if what my camera's seeing here. Yep. And I'll put my light over here. Does that help? The lighting better. Okay. So this is a 6430. So you can do like an assembly line type of setup. I should have cleaned up a little bit better. I didn't know I was going to be doing this right here, right now. Let me get this mess out of here. It's just I got too much projects going on at once. For Falcons, usually you have a retaining pin that holds them in. And so what you can do, everyone has those little poker tools. These, about any of them will work. I mean, even a quick set one, short one, something like this to get the knob off. turn it 90, pops off. I think this will work. Yeah, it should. Yeah, there you go. And what you're doing is you're turning this tailpiece to where when you push that pin in, it doesn't, it allows it to move it. Otherwise, when you're like this, you're hitting the edge. And this gives you the space it needs to push that pin in right in there. Yep. Alright, so let's get to popping. Well, ideally, what I ought to do probably is dump them all out, line them up. So maybe I can do this like this. Actually, maybe, I don't know if I want to get 12 of these out at once, so let's just see how this goes. And I usually scribe these because I kind of like to know where it is when I first do them. Whenever you put one of these levers back in, you always kind of want to keep track. And on this it's pretty obvious, but where that tailpiece is vertical to the Bible, sometimes it's horizontal, perpendicular, or whatever. But you know, that's important because you can set it so you can't pull the key out unless it's locked. You know, that's the different ways you can do this. And this way here, you can take it out with the key. You really don't want this horizontal while it's locked, because what'll happen is, let me see. Yeah, when you do the key, it'll wind up allowing someone to take the knob off. So, but I mean, in different knobs, there's different ways you do this. That's why they set it up like that. So, anyways, I mean, I don't know if I explained that very well. I can show you on a different video, but not right now. So this and this. And I thought I had a tool just for that style. By the way, if you have a chance, pick some of these up. These are to make sure that your stuff isn't stripped. And if it, you know, if you strip the head out on a screw or something, this allows you, one side does the drilling, and sometimes it will help unscrew it, and the other side is just like an easy out. But they're worth having. You know, if you ever do security plates or anything, sometimes you strip them out. You know, if it's a Phillips and you have something that's too soft, pain in the butt. Anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and do this. Normally I would have a whole bunch of them, just do them all at once, but I'm just going to do this real quick. Like I said, maybe I'll talk, maybe I won't. You don't have to watch any of this if you don't want. But, so I've hardly ever used one of these tools to do this. I'm just doing it right here just for the heck of it. So, on the first one, I'll go ahead and dump some keys out. This is a 603344. Because I know these are brand new, I'm just going to drop them in there. So what I do need is a number 2 and a 5. That's the other beauty of having these, so you don't double the digits. You don't have to worry about having the kits and different, the caps and different ones. And there's a 4. There's a 6. These are the diabetes test strip bottles, and I just put some tape on there. And I can keep track of what's what. And then a 0. Alright, so those are all lined up exactly how I need them. And I can pour some in, or I can just leave them like they are. And the lids kind of stay on enough. That's the other thing, if you use something that has multiple digits, multiple pins of the same digit, then you wind up emptying them out quicker. And because I know this here is, let me see if I can do this without topping on. Kind of, my hands are cold where I'm at. So 603344. Alright, so we'll do this. I'm going to just dump these in. These are brand new, so I'm not worried about wear and tear on these pins. 6033. Let me do it. They're brand new. Okay, so 3 and then it's 4. And I know I'm using this 0 pin, so I should have got me a. There it goes. That's a 0. So I'll actually use that 0. there. Alright. And so, keys trash. That'll become a pre-cut down the road. So, and then these are 6-pin too, by the way. I got it lined up in order I need it, so I'm good on that. Sometimes people just dump them what they need in the little bin, have them lined up. I don't want to have to double handle these things any more than I need to. When you do 12 of them, it's kind of a cumbersome. You wind up getting spilled into the next one. At least this here, you know, everything's in the right spot. My fingers are cold. Can't hardly hold anything right now. And you don't need to bear with me and watch all the way through this. I'm just keying these for a job. You can use this as ASMR if you want. So that's perfect bedding right there. Okay. Almost lost her. There's a little ridge on the back there. So that's one. Put it back in. And you want to pay attention the way that is. It's tapering on one end. Sometimes they're tapering on both ends. But you want the taper one up top for the cap. That's retaining ring, because that's what now I'm going to turn this so it pushes down like that. And then I'll spin it around to where I want it. So I'm using the tail piece to hold down that too tight, so I'm going to back it off, and that's what you don't want to do right there. No big deal, you just turn it a little bit more. That's how you do it. Not too tight. I haven't really done this in a while, so it's like actually I did just the other day. Yep, there you go. Loosen that up just a hair so I can get this tail piece. Once I get to moving, I'll be a little quicker here. There, let me pull this off. Just need to turn that tail piece so it's 90. There you go. Alright, now I can do this. I've always done this kind of by hand anyways. There. If it's too loose, you won't have to be able to get the key out very good. That's perfect. Alright. And so I'll put this back in here. Put it on the hardware. Drop it in the box. I know I'm good. And sometimes, you know, if you get your customers old hardware and like have Falcons or whatever, keep these little plastic parts, because you never know when you'll need them. Sometimes on the job you'll lose those little pieces like that. Alright, so now I know this goes like that because that's that. You have to turn that 90 and then just snap it on there. There we go. Oh, there I dropped my follower. What a butterfingered mess, huh? There we go. Yeah, I don't have I'm trying to hold the ring all the way through. Alright. There you go. My fingers are cold. I can't feel them. Okay, so that works. I know they all work. I'm just going through the motions here. Alright, so that's that. I will put that back in this box. Normally, I can get these done in 5 minutes or less. I'm just kind of disorganized. Didn't know I was going to be recording. And I thought, you know, I might as well record this. They want 30 keys made too. Yeah, I'll stand them. Duplicate. Alright, so what we got next? Yeah. we're gonna get moving here. I'll just shut up. Do you all a favor. Be quiet. Okay. I like this Falcon hardware. It's pretty inexpensive. I thought I was going to shut up. I'm going to keep talking now. So the deal is, when you bid a job, yeah, let me get this out of here. Here, a little plastic clip. When you bid a job, you usually, I try to bargain shop and find something that meets all the requirements. I like to use the real name brands, you know, the Falcon, Schlage, and all that. But sometimes companies, or businesses, you know, they're cheap, and you'll wind up using Tel or something else. You know, Brinks even has a commercial line now. But my point is, you'll get this at the lowest price you can, and then you'll go on ahead and try to do fair market value. So, all right. So let me see here. I'm gonna dump the. Let me see here. 2-1. I normally just don't even worry about this part, but I'm gonna 12 of these. I want to make sure I have some of these leftover pins. You know, they're brand new. Nothing wrong with them. That's 4, 4, 7. When you go through a whole bunch of them, you sometimes save some. Actually, okay. 7. Do it like that. And 5, 4. Okay. 5, 4. These are brand new pins. There's no reason not to keep them. And if you can reuse them, then by all means you do that. Alright, so come on, fingers. It's not that cold outside. But I'm just struggling with the stepping. I could have turned my heater on. I just didn't feel like doing it. I kind of, you know, my mother-in-law's actually over right now. Not saying she's the reason I'm out here, but it doesn't hurt that she's here. And I can be out here. If you know what I'm saying. Yeah, let me see here. I'm going to probably need to get some new ones here. New set of pins. Refill kit. This kit I bought on eBay pretty cheap. But I've refilled it with real Schlage hardware. Some of the pins that came with the kit, the pins seemed like they was just a little off. Some of them. And some of them was right on, but I just, you know, better to use real Schlage stuff. Okay. Perfecto. I don't like when they feel clicky like that. So it feels clicky. Yeah, I think one of them was kind of low, that's why I wasn't sure. And so when that happens, sometimes you can do that and it'll bump it. So let me pull it out and take a look at it. Instead of having to take it all the way apart or shim it. I think there's one right there. Looks kind of low. And I don't know why. That's probably one of the originals. So that'd be the number 4. So number 4 go away. Alright. I don't know what's up with that. And that looks better. Yeah, so that must have been one that's I'll just do it right there. Somehow got put back in. Sometimes I'll clean up my stuff. My fingers are cold. There we go. Like brand new, because it is. Alrighty. You know, you get like a 2 to 3 thousandths max tolerance on some of these. Some of them is even less than that. The better the quality of the lock, the less of the tolerance. So you want to be right on the money. Alright, so let me see here. And vertical. And probably spend just a little more right there. So I don't know how long that took. 5 minutes maybe. And you don't want them too tight because then you start wearing things down. If it's too loose, like I said, you have a hard time getting the lock in and out. Alright, so that's number 2. I'm going to do 12 of these. You don't need to follow along. It's probably pretty boring. Most locksmiths, this is like ASMR. You do this in your sleep. But I got to do this for a job. Could have my son do it, but that's I just soon do myself. I don't know. And yeah, get that in the right spot. There you go. There, perfect. And I always double check them. If there's anything clicky about it, I get rid of it. I redo it. Alright, that's another one down. And I'm only showing this because I don't really show much rekey jobs. I don't know what I like showing in my videos. I have to think about it. But usually, you see other people, the way they rekey stuff, and you think that's kind of interesting. I've never thought of doing it like that, or I wonder why he does it that way, or whatever, you know. And so after you start getting more keys, you start realizing, you know, the one with key rings is the only one I got to worry about saving. I'm going to have a whole bunch of these extra pre-cuts. It's kind of nice. I always keep those pre-cuts. You never know when you'll need them. Actually, I'm going to need that one right now. So I wrote down on the box which one it was. So that'd be the 7652. Right there. And okay, put that over here. Yeah, anyways, I know I was rambling a minute ago about pricing. So I think these are like 70 wholesale and then 160 list price. You charge, I usually bid, when I bid a job, the list price. Because, I mean, there's also shipping fees that you forget to include. I always will try to bid the list price. Because what happens is, there's always something happens in the job. Maybe you need to lower the price. At least you're not losing. You know, so I made a little profit on the parts, which, you know, they could have bought all this themselves. They didn't. 7652. So let me see here. They had me bid the job, so that's how I got the job. I told them my price. They were good with it, and it's like I'm not. The reason why you buy the really nice stuff is so if there's a warranty, you're covered, because warranties are usually covered pretty good on these types, and they're covered on our tail too. But I don't want to have to go out there and fix something. You know what I mean? Better to have it right first time. Okay, that's a 0. All right, so those keys are useless. If I had everything lined up, I'd just give me a long follower and just line them all up all at once, pin them all up at once, and then put them back together. You can do 2 or 3 cylinders on one follower. Probably good. I'm not doing it. My fingers are so cold right now. It's yeah, come on. That one there, Okay. These smaller pins are kind of hard to grab. That's a 5. I don't do many videos lately. I did finally get a new computer, and I'm hopefully getting better. I don't know this video. I'm just putting it up, but I'm gonna try to do some better quality videos, lighting, and all that. 630. They got a couple other locks they want me to work on while I'm there too. One of them, it's like it was a door where there's just like a 1 foot, 2 foot space behind it. so you can barely get it open and closed. But you can get the door open, but it's kind of hard to get to the back side of the door. And I happened to notice there was no real screws, so it's like it was obvious there's a Lorry lock, Lori, you know, Lori. But anyways, he wanted me to swap it out to another one, which also was a Lorry. So I just told him, well, all I gotta do is just unspin it, put it in there. It's pretty easy to do, not a big deal. I mean, you gotta have that longer Allen wrench, and then there's you remove the 2 screws on the strike, and then you go on ahead and I actually forgot to scribe this one. So let me see where I'm at. That's actually, see how it's a hard time coming out. So that means I need to go a little bit further. Usually it's I've heard people say get all the way to the snug and then back it off 1 or 2. So, and when it gets like you can't get it out, you just push your thumb up against it to kind of help push it in. So I got quite a bit. So what it feels like, yeah, look at that. See how much I spun, and you go back a couple right there. Perfect. I'm just gonna scribe it for future use. You don't gotta scribe it. I just do it for me. And also, sometimes down the road, I'll see a scribe. I know it was me that I did that. So, and I try to tell my son, you're better to do that. Just so when you're putting something together, you kind of remember where you were at. Because you get sometimes in a hurry, and you'll start putting stuff together and not realize you forgot to. You put it together and you didn't realize you maybe should have checked to see if you had it tight enough or not too tight. Okay. There we go. Make sure it's good and tight. And there's no click. It's perfecto. I wrap them up because the job should be here in a couple of days, but if it didn't, it's not going to hurt sitting in the box, not getting scuffed or anything with the plastic on it. Just protecting your customer's assets while you're done. Alright, so 3 down. There's actually, I got 4 over there, but it's because one of them is my pattern I'm using. And these keys extra. I don't know if everything's still recording. Let me see. Yep, looks like it's still recording. Alright. And let me get this in. Everyone's got their own method. I'm not saying mine works. I'm better than anyone else's, and I'm not even showing you a better way. It's the way I'm going to do it right now. That's exactly what we're doing. Okay, I'll scribe it. Sometimes when you do a job like this, you'll take that, maybe you'll put a date inside here so you can look when you take it apart. If you ever have an issue, you can see, well, yeah, it's got a 5-year warranty or whatever. Some of them will be like that. Electronic hardware, sometimes it's limited lifetime, and they say limited, you know, meaning it's usually going to fail for something that they don't want to cover. But you know, with Schlag and Quicks, I've never had a problem. I've not, you know, Tel's the one I haven't had to take anything back for, so I don't really know how Tel is. Tel is like a really, I want to say it's cheap. It's cheap price. Actually, the prices are going up right now. But it just, I've used them, you know, I'll be honest. I use Tel. I used a couple of Tel the other day because they was like, we need hardware, but we need a version. We don't want to spend a fortune. Well, okay, we'll get you some Tel. I like Falcons, and I like Schlag. Schlag is actually, I think, owns Falcon. So let's do the one right here. And then a 7.7. Yep. Alright, so those keys are poop. Let me put those in yet. Okay, so I don't even know if I brought my coffee out here. Yeah, it's back there. So like I said, I got these all lined up. I don't have to worry about using the same one twice. So it makes it easy to have them lined up. And these caps kind of help protect it so you don't wind up having issues dumping a kit. And I got more caps, or more than, I don't mean caps, I mean these containers. I got more of these containers I need to put some of the other, like the springs. I got a whole bunch of assortments in there. If you can see that, like the master pins, the plug clips. Don't fall. Put my AC/DC shirt on. And then 0. Alright. Take a gander at it. Okay. Looks good. Sometimes it looks like it's alright. I don't know why that number 5 seems kind of like it's kind of weird. I know when I buy these, I buy them as complete refills, but sometimes you get so tough and it's built. The guy, if they made it on a Monday after like a Super Bowl, maybe that guy that ran the machine wasn't real happy. Partied too hard, you know, over a loss or something, so their machine wasn't set up right. And I don't know. I mean, I work in a factory too, so I know how it is. I think we're good there. Let me see. I don't know if I need to. No, that was it. Just kind of. Yeah, it's perfect. Alright, so let's do this. Put that back. Yeah, I appreciate you watching. Anyone that's interested in this stuff. Locksmithing's really fun to do. It's almost kind of soothing, you know, doing this kind of stuff. Okay. So with the key, you can leave it locked or you can unlock it. That's the thing with the classroom. There's no push button on the end to worry about. So it's always unlocked on the inside. On the outside, you can leave it unlocked or leave it locked. So, okay. So there's 4 done. 6 more to go. Well, actually 5 more, so I don't have to do some of them. Okay, still got a plastic on it. I forgot to do that. Alrighty. Is that the keys to this one or that one? That's the keys to this. Actually, that's kind of odd. Entry. Uh-oh. Entry. Oh no, they gave me the wrong ones. Classroom. Classroom. Okay. Well, a couple of these are entry. Entry. 3 of them. 3 of them are entry. What we got here? Okay, you know that means I gotta go down and get some tomorrow. Well, I don't think I want these on there. Shoot. I may have to rekey these later. So let me put this back here. And tell him. Got these from the local lock supplier. I may have to go back tomorrow and put some up. These classrooms. It's a classroom. Yep. Oh darn. Okay. Let's put all the entries. Alright, well I didn't do any entries already, so I will take this and this entry. Classroom. I don't want any entries. 3 and okay, so 3 of them gotta go back. I'll go ahead and keep moving along on these. That sucks. I was hoping to be done with this. I don't know, it may be if I pull that push button out, maybe that would fix that. I might play that here in a little while. But I think that's the difference. Anyways. I need to get a little holder to set these in. Of course I'll wind up dumping the whole thing. Alright, so let me put this back in black on this one here. 3377 yeah, that's right there. Ah, that sucks. That means I gotta go down there and pick them up and do them again tomorrow. That's alright. Alright, so back to where we were. So I'm not doing a whole of these. Not a biggie. Probably not as boring for you. Alright, so back to my list price versus retail. Alright, then I bid an hourly rate, and I don't remember, I figured 15 minutes per door, and I do that because these are all brand new, but there might be issues that you have. I should have scribed that. This is my own habit. Make sure they go in and out just right. Okay. Alright. So hourly rate times 12, I did 25 bucks per each. And then let me see here if I can remember what $25 per install. I had to find another jig because there's holes on this that the door's prepped with the main hole, but it doesn't have the hole for these. So I bought the jig. I can put the part number in the video what I use for this. So we dump these. So that was 12 bucks for that jig. 3 by 5. Get in there. I mean, you gotta dump them out anyways. You might as well reuse them. That's kind of how I feel about it. 6. Alright, so keys are gone. I don't have to worry about master pen, so I don't have to try to dump that over. Something's wrong with that. I shouldn't have probably thrown it back in there, but next time it comes out, I'll dump it. Whatever that pin was, it looked like it come from a different type of lock. It might have been the same dimension if it wound up in here, but it shouldn't. It didn't have the chamfer was not the same. It's more of a round. So it might have been from the original set that came out of this when I bought this. I bought this kit so many years ago. It was before I got a local lock supplier. That's kind of the difference. So yeah, I'll get rid of these weird ones. That would have been 6. I'm only keeping them in there as extras just in case. Sometimes, like Arrow, some of them they won't have a defined. I think they went there. I need to do this one. They want us to have a defined point because they want them to roll over the peaks and valleys better. Run a key in it. You know, your chamfer should have a sharper point. Alright, so we look. I'm not an expert on these. I refer to my expert locksmiths friends for all the expert advice. I'm just rekeying some locks. Alright, so 12 times 25. That's how many I'm doing. For the install, trip is 60 because it's just local, and that's repeat. I usually even go lower than that for local. And I don't know how much the total's going to be when it's said and done because they got some other stuff they want me to do while I'm there. So let me get that pin right there. I want to get a little bit closer on my notch. Alright. Too loose. I knew it. I kept thinking it felt like I need to go another lap around that thing. There you go. I was going to bring Paul out here, but my mother-in-law's in there and that'll keep them busy. Paul's a crazy dog. Give him something to entertain themselves with. If he sees you move, he's all up and wanting attention, so. Alrighty then. Man, that's too bad about those. The other hardware being that way. This double series is good hardware, just nice and tight. Get that in there. Come on, baby. There you go. Okay. Well, that's too bad about that entrance. I wonder if I can pull that knob off. Well, no, because then you have a hole in the handle. I don't know what I was thinking. You don't want a customer complaining about a hole in the handle. Something used for something. Pencil holder. Alright, so I'm just being goofy. That means I'm going to have to rekey 3 of these. Wow, that's no big deal. That's fine. I only got 2 more left of these. Yeah, this is the one I'm using, classroom lock. Those that I had, I just realized is wrong. It's an entrance, and I don't like that. The customer asked for classroom, and I don't know if there's a price difference between classroom and entrance. I had to put it on the charge account because I'm not paying, $800-900, whatever it was, for all this stuff right off my own debit card, credit card. So put on my charge account. I know I got plenty of extra classrooms because it showed they had like, 100 something in stock. So let me see here. Get that little black button out of there. There we go. Okay, scriber. I should use that green tool right there. I just, as a habit I have, I hardly ever use those. I use it for a follower. Anyways, it's just easy for me to do it that way. I say that now, all of a sudden I'm having a problem. Okay. Man, I could have had all these done tonight. Shoot. Alright, 717. 7. Okay, and then there's 324. There's enough lube on it that it's making it hard to get the pins out. Alright. Well, let me see here. Another one of those round ones. Where's that? I'll put that right there. Okay. I don't know how those round ones got in there. I see a couple more in there. I don't normally mix my new and the old. I'll do that in the pockets here. Sometimes the key cuts weird. I may shave it up or down, or I'll swap a pin out with the one that looks like it might be a little bit more lower, worn down or something. I don't like to use worn pins, but there are times where you don't want to. I don't like using a file on these things. It's kind of like a no-no. You'll see some people, they'll take if it's like an odd brand, I'm not saying Easy Set's odd. Usually they're double chamfered pins on Easy Set, but sometimes you'll get like a Brinks or a Defiant or something, and when you do the key, even if it's pre-cut, sometimes it'll be just a little, the cut may be perfect, but the pin will be just a little high, and it just, sometimes, like I said, sometimes the worker didn't set his machine up right or something, I don't know. So that looks like that 5 is low too. It's weird. It's the 4 that's low. 254. 6, that's the one. So I'll put that in. I don't want that in my kit at all. Yeah, something is on. Okay, there. So 254, 6. Then you go through these. Any of them that's used, just dump them out. Okay, that's perfect. Make sure you don't line that groove up. Come on. See, there is a shoulder right there, and if you're not careful, the point on those pins will catch like that. And you can do that and butterfinger it like I'm doing. Let me see if I can twist that better. Yeah, I think I just got into that. There you go. I actually had to file this down, so I had a shoulder because otherwise it catches on that when you're checking for master pins. It would get stuck on there. There you go. I don't know why that one there wouldn't hang up. The rest of them kind of slid in pretty easily. Well, 3 less than I thought I was going to need to do. I'll do kind of a, because I'm not staying on target with what I'm trying to talk about, I will kind of go over the job that I'm doing. So they wanted 12 doors, new hardware, and the problem is they're steel doors, but they didn't know to get 2 3/4, so they got 2 3/8 back set. So I had to buy 12 of these, but then I had to buy the latches for 2 3/8. And that, for the W hardware, is these. So that's 2 3/8. Yeah, I can put that part number. Let me see. So I could have ordered these W levers. So that would have been, yeah, the hot number for the latch is right there. HOT number 144769. The hot number for these levers is 144776. And so what happens is I had to get those. I could have ordered it, but then when I didn't know when the customer was going to have me do this job, I bet it last December that he was not going to worry about it. I think, okay, the SD card's full on my GoPro, so let me, hopefully I'm still doing good on this other one. Alright, so I don't know how much I had on my SD card. I think I had some ASMR I was doing. Okay. If I can splice it through with this tether. I think I'm using the body cam right there. Where it takes it off. I can start with the other one. Okay, so there's that. Now I have to rekey the rest of these when I get it swapped out. I might even have a couple more. I don't know. W's. Okay. They're in my own personal inventory. So let's get these out. And I don't know how my body cam's viewing this. Maybe it's looking good. I don't know. Okay. Get that little black clip out of there. And let's see here. I told the supplier that he could, if a bunch of these are keyed alike, that'd be fine. You know, like when you buy them out of a set. And I thought they were, and they weren't. And I figured, you know, if they was keyed alike, I would, you know, save my customer the money. I wouldn't charge them for keying, even though I bid it. It's kind of underhanded, I think, to charge them for a service that they didn't really need. But whatever. Teach their own. And 5, 2, 0, 7, 7. I'll get 7 out first. 0. Oops. 7. 0. Yeah, there. Okay. So this is the last of this set I'm going to be able to do. Oh, unfortunate. I was hoping to get all this done. Darn it. Means I gotta go back in there and see what my mother-in-law. You didn't hear me say that. They're nice people. My in-laws were. My father-in-law passed away a while back. He just kind of not my crowd, if you know what I mean. Yeah, I'm kind of a, I'm gonna say loner anyways. My son works with me on the locksmith, and my older one, my younger one, maybe someday down the road he'll get into this stuff. He wants to be, but he's in the military, so it's like he's doing electrical stuff in the military. He does flight navigations, controls specialist, something like that. And if there's any vets watching this, thank you for your service. I'm a vet too. You know, when I was a vet, in the military, I never once thought about all the benefits of being a vet. I just kind of didn't really know what else I was going to do after high school. Didn't know about military discounts. Didn't know about going to Lowe's and getting a veterans discount. I didn't know about any of that stuff. Didn't even think about it. And I still don't even feel comfortable even like if they don't give it to me, I'm not going to go back and say anything because I didn't sign up for the military to be that guy that's, ooh, look at me, I was in the military. Not to say there's anything wrong with that, because I mean, some people, they did a lot of wonderful things in the military, and I'm not saying I didn't. I just was your average guy that just, I didn't know what else I was going to do after high school. Knew I wasn't going to be able to afford to go to college. Military, they had the GI Bill, and so and I thought I was going to be able to drink and party and do all that underage, go to war, see some cool stuff, which I'm not saying war is cool, but I grew up in that, the 80s, 70s, 80s Rambo deer hunter generation, where, you kind of a warmonger, kind of, not to say I want war, but Red Dawn, that kind of stuff. So, not to say I think any war or anything like that is good, but the whole thing with the military is for me it was more of it was a job and an adventure. Turned out to be more of a job than an adventure, but best job I ever had. I love the military, but I'm not one of those people that's like all about the discounts. I don't feel like I should expect them, request them, any of that stuff. Well, that's all I got for now. Apparently, I'm gonna have to take back 3 of those entrance levers. Actually, hold on. I got one more. One more I'll knock out. Real quick. So 3 of those levers are entrance I need to take back tomorrow. That sucks. That's another trip. I gotta make down to Kansas City, Kansas, and I'm over in Kansas City, Missouri. Outside of Kansas City, Missouri. I'm not actually in Kansas City. But it is nice having all these suppliers. But I debated on using this supplier. They're my go-to because they do a lot of wonderful stuff for us in our association. Not that that's a favoritism thing. I like ID and Hoffman. I like Intermountain Lock Supply. And I have Banner down the road also. I have all these down the road. The problem I had with Banner, they're a great company, great outfit. The local people, that's what I'm talking about. I miss HL Flake or HF Flake, whatever's Flake, I miss them. They had the best website I've ever seen when it comes to finding lock hardware. And IMLS is pretty good too. I like theirs. I've gotten more used to it anyways. I mean, if you're a locksmith, let me know what supplier you like the best. I personally, I think Intermountain's got a really good setup. Banner, it's like I like to be able to log in and know what my price is going to be when I'm bidding this stuff. It used to be you just look in and you go on ahead and multiply by 2, and that's probably going to be your wholesale price, but not everything was like that. Yeah, there. Okay. And then 4, 5, So that's a 5. Actually, that's 5. That's a 4. Okay. Those keys are trash. Pop this back open. Nope. Don't need that. 2 2s. Yeah, anyways. So I did, this would be 9, I've done on video. So the hardware I'm doing, so I'm selling 12 of these. I've charged a bit of my wholesale list price. So whatever your supplier is, that'd be the price I'm charging them. And then trip, they want 30 keys. I told them I'd throw in a dozen. And then labor and install. I pay my son, my employee, $25 an hour, and like I bid, 15 minutes per door, and that's just how I tell him. I'm paying you $25 an hour, so I expect so many a door. If he takes longer, that's on him. It's not on me. I know how much it should take. That's being, I can do 5 minutes a door, if I'm real quick. These are brand new doors. There's no fit up to worry about. I'd verify the doors are good. I will have to drill some holes. What I'll just do is first get there, I'm just going to start drilling the holes at 6 and 12 positions for the pins there, and then have him start installing. I got a few other jobs, a few other things I got to do there. I'm going to install a couple of closet knobs that are dummies. So, all in all, I think the job is close to $2,000. And that's because prices have gone up with the tariff stuff. Okay. That feels like I can almost go one click over. I'm going to leave it. If it's too tight, it'll cause it to wear a little bit more, and you don't want to wear, especially new hardware. So, get in there. And they're new, they just click in pretty good. Put that right there. There you go. Sorry if I did that out of camera. Double check. Locked. Unlocked. Move the key in either position. I'm going to leave my pins out. Hope I get those other knobs tomorrow. I got tree people coming tomorrow, so it's going to kind of suck because I got to run down to the supplier. Key these. Correct. I should have checked this the other day. Well, I got them. Alright, so let's see. 4. I did 8. One of them was my pattern. Still got 3 over there that I need to do. Right there, those were entrance, and they shouldn't be. So that's it. That's all I got for today. I don't know, maybe I'll add more tomorrow when I get the other 3. So we'll see what happens. All right. Thanks for watching. Talk to you later. Turn this off. Okay, I'm back. So here's what I got. Finally got these other levers switched out, and got what I need to get this job done as far as being rekeyed. So I had the entrance levers, and I needed to swap them out for classroom. So here's the classroom, and we'll right here. Hopefully I got everything I need to do this and get it done and over with. So let me see here. Still got a mess over here. What do I do with my little, there it is. So I'm keying this up for a customer to, I got a whole bunch of them. There's this key ring right here. I know because I put the keys on a key ring so I wouldn't get it mixed up with that pile of now pre-cuts. That's what they're going to be. Pop that out and save the little plastic pieces. By the way, I got Paul here. What you doing, Paul? What you doing, buddy? Ooh. Anyways, alright, sorry, I digress. And I don't know if I remember to bring my scribe, my scratcher. I had it out in my vehicle. I'll use this to scribe. I don't know what he thinks he's getting into. He's trying to crawl underneath me. He's a silly dog. I always scribe these just so I know where they're at. And it doesn't mean anything other than it's my own personal flavor of how I do this. What are you doing underneath there, dog? He's a silly dog. So, and I've already had 2 other lock jobs between this and the other one. So let me see here. Gotta get my bearings straight here. Okay. Then I need to find my follower. I don't know if I said it in the last video. If you buy this from CLK Supplies or from any other manufacturer or supplier, you might find yourself filing this lip because otherwise you get stuck. Especially in some of the schlags with the T-pins where they tapered. Sometimes it's hard to get those off. Hey, Paul, what are you chewing on? Come here. No, don't you do that. Come here. Let's do this. Yeah, now lay down. He won't listen to me. Just lay down, buddy. We'll be done here in a minute. He's chewing on an X-Acto knife. So 675075. Lay down, buddy. 75. That's what I call it. 75. 075. 075. Jeez. Psycho dog. Papa, you just chill out there, buddy. I'll get you taken care of. Give me a minute here. Yeah, I just one job after another. Right now I'm back there trying to get this. Tomorrow's the big job where I install 12 of these, and I got a whole bunch of other things to do on there. Yeah, pretty good payday. Not bad, anyways. What are you eating? Come here. Dude, you just like getting into everything, aren't you? I need some more 6 pins. I got a whole bunch of them in the bins right here. I just haven't filled this containers back up. You know, when you work on these on a bench, I don't charge as much as I normally would, like at a location. 25 at a location. I figured 15 minutes. I only do 25 because the issues that you run into at the door and stuff. Hey, stop that! Man, you're a mess today, buddy. We thought we was gonna have some tree people coming by to perfect to trim our trees. What are you chewing, Paul? I spend this whole time worrying about what he's chewing on. Anyways, so I gave him a gabapentin to kind of chill him out, and boy, it didn't really do nothing for him. So what I'm doing right now is just a simple bench rekey, and I don't charge as much because I'm not dealing with putting on the door. I'm already charging them for labor to put these on the door, but I'm not doing that till tomorrow. So this is simple. I am charging them for the rekey also, but normally I'm charging this all together on that. It's kind of a weird situation I'm dealing with here. I didn't think I was going to have to do this extra, but I did bid them 25 per rekey. Yeah, what am I doing here? I'm sorry. Too busy dealing with the dogs. Make sure you're not chewing on something you shouldn't be chewing on. I couldn't leave him in the house because he knew I was out here and wanted to do stuff. Hey! Chewing on leaves. I may have to just do a voiceover in this video. We'll see what I do. Okay, you lay down. Maybe I'll chill out for a minute. Sometimes they snap in, sometimes you gotta slide them a little bit. Come on, buddy. There, I got it. Nope, didn't get it. It's nice that it's kind of tight like this for me, because I like to make sure I'm dealing with hardware it's not all sloppy like it's been used or something. But what I'm dealing with right now is kind of a... It's just kind of how it goes. Here. Sometimes you gotta be able to spin that in. There you go. It's because it's new, I'm dealing with this. There, almost. It's that tail piece in there, you gotta make sure it snaps in. Yeah, what am I doing here? So there we go. Almost. That's the problem here. And knock that in. There you go. Jeez. The rose was kind of pushed off and it was kind of put on the side where it wouldn't line up. Alright, I'm good. I'm sorry about that. I digress. So, normally I would charge less on the bench fee. So when someone says, hey, can you rekey something if I bring it by? Yeah, I can. I'm just not going to charge a normal fee for the install and everything. So this is cheaper. Man, what a mess. Alright, this will be a little bit quicker. So, the other thing, when I do these jobs, you just got to kind of keep track of all your keys. Make sure you don't lose some of them. Get them mixed up in some other batch. That's why I put the key ring on that. You doing, Paul? I don't have my scratch all. I should have brought my scratch all in. Ice pick. Amazing how much we use some of these things like that. Hardware's new, so it's pretty hard to get apart. You doing, Paul? I need it better. A quick set rekey tool is kind of a sometimes they don't line up right. Sometimes these are just what's on the door. Feels like it's going all the way in, but Paul, lay down, buddy. There it goes. It's just tight. That's all it is. Just tight. I can feel it's pushing in, but everything's tight on here. Alright, get that out of there. Describe this. Pretty distracting having a dog in here. I know some people have their pets with them when they do this stuff and they pretty well behaved. He's kind of still kind of a pup that he's still wants to play and do stuff. Alright. You gotta watch every time you turn around he's chewing on something. I always get fascinated watching other people rekey their stuff. Okay, 2.7. How you doing, buddy? 7. And 505. So. There you go. Paul, what are you doing, buddy? It's my son's dog. Hey, get her! You silly. Get her! Okay. What are you eating? Come on, put that down. Get there. I know how to clean my van. Bring Paul out here. Hope I didn't get all of something he shouldn't have. It's not as chilly today, but I've already kind of run around and did a couple lock jobs earlier. It's right there. Let me get that put back in there. So let me see here. Looks good. Yeah, there. Hey, Paul. Stop. So I had my GoPro on. It was right above this camera, and I had to. The battery went dead on me last night. That's why I'm kind of recording with both these cameras. This is my body cam. It's recording right now. Sometimes the audio is better. Sometimes it's worse. But I think I'll be alright for this video. Stay out of stuff. So once this is rekeyed, I'm good. Or this next one. Okay. Nothing really important what I'm doing for video's sake. You're not learning anything from me. It's just simple, just me rekeying stuff. Nothing fancy. Nothing that I'm going to teach you. Maybe you'll see a little tip that I did that helps. I don't know. I just kind of put it together myself, so thought it wouldn't hurt to do another video. Some stuff I've not really put much stuff out on. Okay. There he goes.
It's the little kitty.
Part of the problem. Find a way to set that in. I didn't have any problems with those other ones yesterday. And there's nothing big on these. They just, hardware is a little bit tight. But there's nothing wrong with it. Okay. Get on in there. There he goes. Very tight. Way tighter than that batch I had yesterday. Interesting. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm working out of camera. So when you put that down, sometimes you gotta line that up a little bit better. So it drops in. Come on, baby. There it goes. Okay. Yeah. It's a pretty good size pin there. Surprised it's that kind of hard to get on there. Sometimes it likes you to have that tailpiece in the right spot for it to drop in. That's part of the problem. You gotta have it almost directly like it's supposed to be, where you can pull the key out, sit it down on there, and then there you go. Then you turn it, let it drop in, and then you're able to do that. Yeah, it'll work. Lock. Lock. Okay, I just want to make sure I'm not doing something weird here. I didn't have this problem yesterday. This is a Falcon W series. It's actually a pretty good lock. And it's a grade 2. It's kind of, I'm not going to say it's heavy duty, but it is commercial grade. I don't know about heavy duty. Let's see here what it says on this side here. Yep. That's your W series. They're not bad. I mean, I like them. They're as good as any commercial out there as far as, you know, you're going to do a commercial job. It's better than Tel, you know, it's not as heavy as, you know, their heavier duty series, which is commercial heavy duty. I don't remember all the names of the serial numbers to order these from, but I know I like these. Okay, another one's tight. He must have been sitting on a shelf or something, kind of getting cold, because it's like I can feel it's pushing in that pin. Just can't get it to pop loose. I don't have my good poker tool. Let me see what I got over here. I don't even know how I'm going to do this video, if I'm going to show it. It may just be kind of a waste. Unless you just like ASMR. Yeah, see, it is heavy duty, tight. I can see I'm pushing in. Yeah. Come on. It's almost easier when it's on the door to do this. Okay. Yeah, it's trying to come. It's just tight. Tight. Oh, get on out there. Tell me I gotta do this when we get on the door. There. I feel it was getting in there. Okay, so pop that out. Keys over their side. I'm gonna scribe this just for S and G's. I always know that I'm the one who worked on it, because I don't know anyone else who really scribes them like that. Okay. So yeah, if you try to get one of these apart and it doesn't come apart very easily, just be patient, keep trying. Sometimes how you hold your tongue kind of helps. I don't know. Okay, I should have thrown my keys over there. Take those down. It was. Okay. So 70560. 600. Alright, that key's obsolete. It's the last one. Thanks for bearing with me if you watched this far. I don't know how long this video actually will be when I'm done. Maybe I'll throw some little weird fluff clips in it. I don't know what I'll do, but it's just a random. Had to rekey a bunch of locks and thought maybe I'd take you along. Like that pin. If you Learned something great. If I just bored you, sorry. Like I said, I don't know if I'm gonna. I may not even load it. I don't know. Sometimes you just have a video content that you just need to get off your computer, so you wind up loading it. And I'll just keep it private or something until down the road. Like I said, I just kind of have my own little method of doing this. And right now, with arthritis being kind of chilly, my method is kind of a pain in the butt. Perfect. No clickies. I don't like keys that click. If you turn the key and it's tight all the way around, then that means you got a pin too high. If you turn your key and it clicks and it's not tight once you break past the shear line, then you got a key that's too low, or a pin that's too low. And you can either adjust the key or adjust the pins. It depends on, how many you've done. If you just had a bad pin kit, like some crappy one, then sometimes you just adjust the key. You're the only one that really knows if it's cut to code or not. So, to me, my duplicator over here, I had a key jam up on the other day, and now it's out of calibration, so I need to fix that. So, there's these little things. So I've been code cutting a bunch of these keys. I really didn't want to have to go through that mess of doing it like that, but I want my keys to be perfect. Okay, set that right there. Okay, there we go. I drop in. Put it down. And click. Gotta have it almost dead on. Get where you can feel it, and then you can kind of click it. And there it goes. Pull on it, make sure it's tight. This here, when I go that direction, should lock. When I go this way, it should spin. It's a classroom function. And always unlocked on the inside. Alright, these are all done. Thanks for bearing with me. Sorry, kind of jacking around, trying to get that off or getting the levers on. Sometimes you come across those where they're new and they're tight. Oop, I just dropped it over here. Drop the faceplate. Sometimes they're tight when they're new. That's all I have for this video. Thanks for bearing with me. And I'll kind of put up somewhere on the screen what the job was while I was bidding, how I bid it, price wise, and I'll give a range. I'm not going to tell you exactly how much I charge. My customers, it's not that I care about them seeing it, they know that I'm going to make a profit. They don't really care, and I'm not. Some people charge more than I'm charging. I charge what I need to charge to make a profit. And I'm not trying to get rich, so. But it has to be worth getting out of bed and doing it. The stress, I had to run to the supplier, which was 30 miles, 2 different times, pick up hardware, so you kind of got to pick your battles. Making a lot of noise here. Paul, you silly, what are you doing? Alright, there's that. Alright, well, thanks for watching. Talk to y'all later. Bye.
I love it when a plan comes together.